Welcome into the show,
got it,
everybody.
Man, hey, big news coming across Twitter and all the social media platforms that we'll get to in a little bit, but big trade by the Jazz.
Yeah, big trade today around noon.
Wow.
So we'll get into the trade talks in a bit, but of course it was the weekend, and I know you had a big weekend. Mark, I know you're just dying to tell everybody about this weekend of yours.
I'll tell you what, Macy and I, we had a fantastic weekend. One of the best weekends that we've done all year long. We've done some pretty cool stuff this year.
Yeah.
So what we did is we went over towards Lake Powell, and we did kayak the Colorado. Okay.
All right.
Now I got to tell you, the Colorado River at this time, well, probably all the time right here, it's like a 3 mile per hour current. So there's no white caps and white water rafting and that kind of stuff. It's just a calm river. Like I said, it's like a 3 mile per hour current. Fantastic. They took us up to the dam. They dropped us off at the petroglyphs right before Horseshoe Bend. And we got into our kayaks, went through Horseshoe Bend. We had a little lunch. Got back in our kayaks and we just went on down. It took us about 5 to 5.5 hours of just a slow current. We just chilled and looked up at these cliffs that were straight up. It was gorgeous. We saw mountain sheep, or goat. I don't know what you call them.
Probably could have been sheep.
Mountain sheep, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw some, there was some beaver that we saw as well. Wild horse, some Mustangs as well. Yeah, it was great. It was just a phenomenal trip down the Colorado River.
That's awesome.
And if this isn't an annual thing, it will be like maybe a twice a summer. Maybe not this year because we have so much going on, but it's definitely going to be an annual thing for sure.
Gotcha.
It was that much fun.
Yeah.
And then we proceeded up to Jacob Lake, right there at the north rim of the Grand Canyon. And we had a awesome dinner right there at the Jacob Lake restaurant. Now, here's the thing too, Caden.
Yeah.
How long do you think Jacob Lake has been opened?
It's been there a long time. I'm gonna say 100 years would be a good
They
guess.
are celebrating their 100-year anniversary. So yes, you nailed it.
Right.
Yeah, 100 years at Jacob Lake, and we went into the restaurant, had a great dinner. We stayed in one of those really quaint, really cute cabins. I just use the word cute, but I think that's
cute.
okay.
It was a cute little
cabin. It really
cabin.
was a cute cabin.
You showed me the picture.
And we had, out on the porch, our view was just pine trees.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous. Later and then the next morning, we woke up in our cabin. It was awesome. And we went to the north rim of the Grand Canyon. We did the North Kaibab Trail. Now, here's the problem with hiking. When you go down, you have to come back up. That sucks.
You know how they always say what goes up must come down? It also sometimes, at least in the world of hiking, what goes down must come up.
Now, this is what the Grand Canyon needs to do.
Okay.
They need to put a chairlift in so you can hike down and then chairlift out. How cool would that be?
I like that idea.
I would pay money for that too. They could make some serious cash.
Get like a just like a ski lift kind of thing, right?
Yes, exactly.
Just gondola you out of there.
Oh my gosh, man! Because when we were going down, there were people coming back up out of that trail.
Mm-hmm.
And just FYI, it's about 2 miles down to the I think it was called the Supai Tunnel. Don't email and call if I'm wrong. Maybe I pronounced it wrong or got it wrong. But anyways, we walked down that, and I think the map says it's about 1.5 miles. It was closer to 2 miles down.
Yeah.
And it's about 1,400 feet, almost 1,500 feet of elevation that you got to come back up. So it was bad. But it was funny thing is you're watching people, as you're going down, you're watching people come up and they are struggling. You're like, oh my gosh, that's going to be me in about 45 minutes. And it was. Oh, we had to take several breaks, and it was tough, man.
How long was the hike? How many miles?
It took us about 2 hours. maybe 2.5 hours.
So distance
4
wise
miles.
Probably wasn't even all that long.
It was about 4 miles. It was about 2 miles down and 2 miles out.
A lot of elevation.
Yes, it's just a lot of elevation. And you're at 8,000 feet.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit tougher too. But then we went back to Jacob Lake after that hike. We went back, man, and we had some burgers. I had a big old mushroom Swiss burger at the cafe there at Jacob Lake, and Macy had a big old cheeseburger. It was so good. And then you can't go to Jacob Lake without getting cookies.
That's true. They're famous for their cookies.
But I just want to say that's not what they're all about. Yes, make sure you get cookies, but the cafe, the restaurant, the stay, everything was fantastic. Just had a great time, and I want to thank all the staff out there at Jacob Lake for just being so nice, so friendly, so kind. It was awesome.
That is awesome.
So,
that is awesome.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Good times.
That's cool.
And the thing is it's right in our backyard, too. I think that's what...
It's like, what, a 2 hour?
It's 2 hours to Jacob Lake, 3 hours to Lee's Ferry, where we did our kayaking.
Right.
But it's all right here. That's the great thing about it, too. And there's other places, too. You know, a month ago, we went to Bryce Canyon.
Yeah, that's right.
And did that. We've done Zion this year as well. You know, all this right here in our backyard that us locals need to take more advantage of.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just right there. I know that, this year we've been talking about best places, like me and my family. We've talked about some of the best places in southern Utah just to go camping.
Yeah, sure.
You know? And sometimes you forget, hey, northern Arizona is still kind of southern Utah.
Of course it is.
You know what I mean? So it's like so then we get talking about, man, Jacobs Lake's just right there, and we just forget about it.
Yeah, you do.
know, sometimes we think we're in Utah, right? Well, the border's a throwaway.
Well,
it's right there.
It was funny. I mean, I don't know how many times our phone went from Mountain Time to Pacific Time. Like sometimes my phone would be on Pacific Time, and Macy's phone would be on Mountain Time, and we're in the same car together.
That close.
Yeah. So I always kind of thought it worked off, bouncing off the same towers and stuff, that it would change but literally we'd be in the car traveling, and hers would be on Pacific Time, mine would be on Mountain Time. It was really strange. So yes, but you're right there on the border. So it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it to anyone. So much fun out there.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's good times.
Man, we walked out when we were at the North Rim. We walked out to a couple of the lookouts before we did the Kaibab hike, and just gorgeous. My gosh. I went there. I remember going there as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I say kid, I was probably 16, 17 years old with my parents, and didn't appreciate it. I was like, are we done? This is the Grand Canyon. Are we done? I mean, you know what I mean? Because you see the Grand Canyon on TV and stuff. It's mostly the South Rim.
Right.
The North Rim has a different look to it. A lot of pine trees, a lot of trees. It's not as it's not red desert.
It's not necessarily
not cliffs.
as drastic.
Yes. Yeah. But my gosh, it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Sometimes isn't it strange how as a kid you don't appreciate?
No,
and maybe even
absolutely.
maybe it's because we live in the area too. I think sometimes we don't appreciate the beauty of the area we live in. And I could say from experience, where you leave southern Utah for an extended period of time, and I'm not talking like a week, I'm talking like years at a time.
Yeah.
And you come back and you're just like, man, this place is crazy.
Yeah.
And I just sometimes have to remember what it's like to see southern Utah with a fresh set of eyes, to be like, man, we live in a pretty cool place.
Right.
Because when you see with that fresh set of eyes, it's like, wow. Yeah. This is awesome.
Oh, no question about it.
Then you go to newer places, like, if you haven't been to Jacob Lake in a while, that's as an example.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it's like, geez, this is just right here?
It was awesome.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I loved it.
That's awesome.
Hey, also, too, later on in the show, we've got Kate Walker.
Yeah, that's
coming in as well.
That's coming up here shortly.
Very shortly. I was looking at her website.
And for those of you who don't know, she's with Crimson Cliffs Golf.
Yes. Yeah, she just got done with her freshman year.
Right.
And now she's going to her sophomore year, so she goes up to the high school next year.
She's only 15 years old. And put that in perspective. She is 15.
Caden. She's a 3 handicap.
Yeah, add a 0 to that, and you're getting close to mine.
Anyways, I can't wait to get her on, talk to her about her state tournament title, kind of what that everything that went into that as well. And then she's been busy already this summer playing in some tournaments, and we'll have her catch us up on that as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun conversation. We'll talk to her about that and about this last season, what she's looking forward to, and what it's like to be one of the top golfers in the state at her age.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So that's coming up. But we did say that we have to talk about the big news of the day today.
Yeah.
The Utah Jazz making a trade. Now, the trade will not be official until later, first week of July. July 6th, I want to say, is when these trades can become official.
Okay.
But it's as official as it needs to be. The Jazz get John Collins from Atlanta, and they're giving up Rudy Gay in a second-round pick.
And a second-round pick, that's nothing.
That's chump change. Yeah, that's nothing. Jazz win this. If you were to grade it, the Jazz get an A, and Atlanta, I'll give Atlanta a C. The reason I give them that and not something worse is just because they needed to get rid of the contract space. They needed money. So for the money, I understand why they had to do it. It makes sense for them. They're just not really getting anything in return. Rudy Gay did not play well in Utah. I mean, he really didn't. In the grand scheme of things, he did not play well in Utah.
Now, not that I disagree with you, but Brad Botkin from CBS Sports, he gave the Atlanta Hawks a B+. He also gave the Jazz a B+. But here's why, though. Here's why.
Okay, I want to hear his explanation.
It's because of the money that's tied to John Collins and his output. Like, he is, this could be an Atlanta Hawks situation. He's been declining over the past 3 years. But that could be because of the Atlanta Hawks.
I have some explanation, but I'll let you go ahead.
But that's just what he said. And again, I'm just going off of what Brad from CBS Sports is talking about. And then if they would have traded, I guess John Collins has kind of been on their trading block for several years,
for a
couple of years, for a few years. And the reason why he didn't give the Hawks an A is because they would have gotten more of a return 2 or 3 years ago.
100% they would have, yes.
So he's kind of knocking them a little bit on that. But on the Jazz side, again, just because, in fact, let me see if I can just find it right here. And, I can't give the deal an A for the simple fact that Collins is still making a lot of money, and he could be on the books for 3 more years. If he keeps declining, that won't be great. I still think, though, I think that's an Atlanta Hawk issue, not a John Collins issue.
So here's why I give it an A for the Jazz. To me, John Collins is the most underrated forward.
Mm-hmm.
In maybe I would say in the whole league, he's probably the most underrated forward. And the reason being is because the Hawks don't use his versatility very much.
Right.
You got to remember, when you have a guy like Trey that they're using, right, and he's kind of running the show,
right.
And I think Tony Jones from The Athletic said it best today on Twitter. John Collins has just done a lot of cardio for that team.
Mm-hmm.
He does not participate
in the
up and down. He doesn't participate in the offense. And
which is
he's
a shame.
A great offensive player.
Because in 2019-2020, he averaged 21.6 points a game. He shot the 3 ball at a 40% rate, 40.1. Yeah. Now, he has gone down from that.
Yeah, but if you don't get looks, you're not going to...
I totally agree.
You got to have the opportunities.
In 2021 season, he dipped down to a 17.6 points per game. In 21-22, he was 16.2, 22-23 this last season, 13.1. And his 3-point percentage has declined quite a bit, too, going from the top at 40.1 of the season that we talked about, 19 and 20, down to 29.2. Just a constant decline on the 3-point percentage. So,
and I get that.
But again, I'm with you, though. I think that's more of an Atlanta Hawk issue and not a John Collins issue.
Yeah. I do think that the Jazz picked up a real winner here. I really do. And I just think that Atlanta wasn't utilizing him to the best of his abilities. Now, the declining, you can look at that and say, hey, he's got some things he needs to work on. That was actually going to be my next point. He's young enough.
Yeah.
He still has so much room to grow. He hasn't hit his ceiling yet. And everybody has ebbs and flows in a career. You're going to have down years. You're going to have up years. And I will say that I think that he could use a little bit of attention and have some good up years. I really do.
I think it would be a success for the Jazz, even if he goes back to the 2021-22 season where he averaged 16 points and shot the three ball at about 37%.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a great place to be. Now, if he can get up to the 2019-20 season, get up around 22 points a game and shoot the three ball at 40%, that's a win for the Jazz.
Absolutely. And you got to remember, too, they just picked up Taylor Hendricks in the draft, who same position. And a lot of people were wondering, geez, do they just not believe in Taylor Hendricks to do what he wants to do? No, that's not the case. It's not that they don't believe in Taylor Hendricks. It's that now they have some depth at that position that they probably didn't really have before. It also means Kelly Olynyk is realistically on a chopping block as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to utilize him in his contract as a trade offer at some point in the near future, because there's still some guards that they need to kind of look out for. If they want to win now, I think guard play needs to happen. So
check out all that 7-foot wingspans though down low that the Jazz have right now,
if not bigger.
Yeah,
I mean, you have 4 guys with. I mean, you could have a starting lineup of Markkanen, John Collins, and Walker Kessler with Taylor Hendricks coming off the bench. And then not to mention you still have on the guard side in the backcourt, you have Ochai Agbaji, who's probably going to be starting. It could be Talen Horton-Tucker, could be Jordan Clarkson. We don't know what's kind of going on there. It could be Colin Sexton.
I think Clarkson's on his way out.
He has a player option.
Yeah,
so
he does.
if he decides he wants out, then...
But I'll tell you what, if he's a smart dude, which I think Jordan Clarkson is, he's looking at this talent. I as a guard, I gotta be quite excited if I'm Jordan, I'm Clarkson.
But money becomes a thing too.
You're right.
Does he want a bigger paycheck? If he wants a bigger paycheck, he could opt out.
This is an exciting team for the Jazz.
Yeah.
That they're building. And I knew this would come together quickly. I really did. And I know they haven't even played a game together yet. I get that. But on paper and the potential this team has, it could be a very exciting year coming up.
This is a win now move. Getting John Collins is a win now move. This is Danny Ainge showing the league we're ready to play.
Yeah.
So what's interesting too is after that dropped earlier today too, and there's been a lot of talks of this, but Damian Lillard and his team is now talking with the Trailblazers to talk about his future.
Yeah.
Whether that means, hey, I want out, or what can you do to keep me around? I don't know what that means.
Right.
But then, of course, have Jazz fans all over Twitter being like, hey, do we try to go for Dame and go win now? Because Dame doesn't have a lot of time left. His clock is ticking.
And, out of all the superstars, Dame is one I think that would be open to Utah because of his Utah ties.
He loved playing college basketball here. I mean, he talks very highly of Utah.
So there's a superstar that I think that the door would be open to him going to Salt Lake City, as opposed to, you can see the LeBrons and the Kyries just snubbing their nose, at Salt Lake City. They're not.
They never
but
would.
This is a superstar that I think
he would consider it.
Yeah, I certainly think he'd consider it.
You'd have to make the money work, which right now, if you look at Jordan Clarkson's money, and if you take him off, which you probably would anyways, because it's a guard for a guard. Granted, Dame's a lot smaller, but you have to make the money work in some way. If you can do that, then by all means, I don't see why not. And if you can keep Colin Sexton on, I think he's a solid fit. And then, like I said, Agbaji, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah.
Now you have a good core set of guys. See who else you can keep around from the original roster. Maybe you make some other moves, but then don't forget you just drafted a couple of guards too. So I think George has a good chance. Keontae George, I think he has a good chance to get some minutes this year, improve himself a little bit. So, I think there's room for these rookies to make a splash as well. And I'm not talking about just Hendricks. I think Hendricks has a spot.
Yeah.
But then you look at George, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I think he also has some lineup minutes this year for sure.
Yeah.
So either way, it's exciting stuff. We'll talk about it more. We got to get to a break. We got a guest coming into the studio here in just a second. Of course, we just barely talked about it. Kate Walker's coming in. So In the meantime,
Let's do
we'll
it.
take a break and we'll have her here. Coming up next here on From the Bleachers on the Fan Sports Network.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
And let's hop right on into it, shall we, Mark? We got a guest in studio with us today.
Yes, we do. It is Kate Walker. Kate is just finished up her freshman year of playing girls high school golf. Gonna be her sophomore year coming up. But let's not jump ahead yet, though. Let's talk about this freshman year you just had, Kate. Now we got you.
There we go.
Now, when you're talking to this mic, get really up close and personal so we can hear you really good, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. Talk to us a little bit about playing in Region 10. Well, actually, it's going to be Region 9
Yeah,
again.
about to be Region 9.
But Region 10 golf this past year, tell us a little bit about your freshman season.
Yeah, it was crazy. I started the season. I wanted to win state. That was my goal. And yeah, it's just
So as a freshman, your goal, you're going up against sophomores, juniors, seniors, and your goal was to just take state, win first.
Yeah.
Not like, perform well or, get honorable mention. Like you're going all out for state.
Yep. I've played most of the girls before, so I knew what they would shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was crazy, really.
And where did the state tournament take place at?
Logan River.
Okay.
So
I've
yeah.
never played that one.
Yeah.
Me
You're
neither.
not missing anything. Yeah.
Okay, so
So don't make any special trips?
No.
tell us about that then. You say we're not. What was it about that course that you're just like, it's not my favorite?
Yeah. I mean, I love all the people there were nice, but it's just the course is just so different from like courses down here. Like I probably only hit my driver like on one hole.
Really?
So it was like, it was a lot of, you could play that course with a 7-iron and a wedge and a putter and you're good.
Wow.
But yeah, it was just so different.
The shape of the greens and stuff like that, was that all pretty good? Or
Yeah, that was pretty
that was
normal.
all just, it was
It's
just that.
Yeah, it's just your tee shots. It's
Yeah.
like, you just have to place it.
Well,
but-
we had talked to some of the other golfers that went and played that, and they did say they're like, you never use your driver. Like you just don't. It's just something that you don't do. So that's funny that you confirmed that there. It's just one of those. Now, which course here in Southern Utah would you say is one that you just love to go play?
Probably Sunbrook.
Really?
Yeah. I grew up playing there, and my coach Reed, my coach there, he's great. And it's one of my favorite.
Now, I know and I love Reed as well.
Yep.
But Sunbrook is probably my least favorite
Really?
course on the city course.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't fit my eye for some reason.
Okay.
I struggle with Sunbrook for whatever, and I worked there for a little bit
Really?
too. So Reed, if you're listening, I apologize. I still love you, man. But Sunbrook usually kicks my butt.
Yeah.
Blackrock I play pretty well, but
Yeah.
Woodbridge and the Point.
I like Woodbridge. I just like the island.
Oh, that's
bowl
my
'cause it's
that's
tough.
my that's my least favorite of three.
I know that's
is
what everyone
Woodbridge.
says, and I love Woodbridge.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I like Woodbridge. A lot of people are like, they hate the Point or.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It is difficult. It's just because I've played it so many times.
Yeah.
It's gotten
Yeah.
easier. But
Now, so you go up to Logan, you take first, you shoot 151 in 2 days.
yeah,
Caden, in 2 days, what do you think your score would be?
What's 151 times 2?
Mine, mine would probably be. Now, this is no foot wedges, no fluffing the ball up. This is all tournament regulation. I would probably be 180. I'd probably shoot 290.
290s? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be more than that.
Yeah,
I'm not.
That's
good at golf.
impressive. 151. That is so awesome.
thanks.
And then you've started off this summer. You've already been really busy. We played Hobble Creek about 2 weeks before you did. You played in the Mary Lou Baker Women's Open Championship. You're going up against college girls.
Yes, yeah.
And tell us how you did there.
Yeah, it was definitely different than everything I've done. It's just because, like, you think, like, you go play with these good girls. Because I played with Berlin Long and Kelsey Chug. They're really good.
Okay.
And, I didn't know what to expect. But, yeah, it was crazy. It's just a lot different.
And you finished 11th. You
Yeah.
shot a 77
Yep.
and then an 82 for a 159
Yeah.
total.
Yeah.
You tied 11th, and you're going up against girls that
Yep.
were probably 5, 6, maybe even 7 years older than you.
Yep.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was. Yeah, and they had us playing the tips. It was.
Really?
Yeah, or like almost the tips, but it was so long.
Yeah.
So.
You pulled your driver out on that course then,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, a lot of driver.
So tell me about that. What's that experience like playing in some of these tournaments outside of the season?
Yeah, I really enjoy them. They're fun. It's just I like them. I like high school too, but
Is it different competition? Is the competition better? I would assume
Yeah.
than just your standard region and state competitions.
yeah, there's a lot of girls that put a ton of time in, and that's all they do. But yeah.
There's probably a lot more diversity in a high school match because you'll get girls that can, shoot in the high 70s, right around 80, but then you'll also get girls that shoot in the 110, 120s, right?
Yep.
So there's probably a much bigger diverse in scoring versus when you go to the Mary Lou Baker's Women's Open, you probably didn't have those 120s.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was legit, right?
Yeah, it was like everyone's good, and just have to.
Now, you've also done the Southern Nevada Junior Golf Association where you finished 6th.
Yes.
She
yeah.
shot an 82 and a 71. Okay.
I'll take that any day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she played in the Utah Junior PGA Championship. That was at Soldier Hollow.
Yeah. That's like, I love Soldier
Tell me a
Hollow.
little bit about that.
Yeah. So I played that tournament every year. But like the first year I played it, I had a hole in one
What?
on 15.
How
Yeah.
long? How many yards was it? I know you know this.
It was like 130.
Okay.
Yeah, around there.
And what are you hitting? What club?
I hit a
130.
9.
A 9. Okay.
Yeah, but it was crazy. I bladed it. So if it went, so it hit the pin and then just like dropped
it
straight
did.
down.
Thin to win, right?
Yeah.
Thin to win.
Yeah, and if I wouldn't have done that, then I would have been OB. It would
Yeah.
have been so bad. But yeah, and if I didn't make the hole in one, so actually we ended up going to a playoff with this girl, and if I didn't make the hole in one, she
Then you-
would have won.
Yeah. Did you end
So,
up winning in the
yeah.
playoff? Oh my God.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Tremendous.
it's crazy.
That's awesome.
And then you also went and played the USGA US Girls Junior Amateur. That was not too long ago. You played that up at Bonneville Golf Course?
Yes.
You
I
have
did.
been busy.
Yeah, I've been. Yeah,
Man.
it's been like a month since I've been home.
You tied for sixth there. You shot in
Yeah.
82. Crazy weather conditions from what I understand.
Yes, it was like 40-mile-an-hour winds the whole time. And
Wow.
It was just it would the wind would move your putt. It was.
And
That's when it gets tough, is when the
Yeah.
ball moves on
Yeah.
the ground. Not
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
just in the air, but when it's
Yeah.
moving on the ground.
For
That's
sure.
a lot of wind.
And then just this past weekend or a couple of weeks ago, you went up to Ochre Hills up in Tooele.
Yep.
And tell us about that.
Okay, yeah. So I haven't played that. I never played that course before.
Okay.
So I just showed up and I was like, I just wanted to play well. And there wasn't a lot of girls in this one because they were all doing like a different tournament.
Okay.
But yeah, so I never played it. I shot a 72 the
Mhm.
first day and then a 70 the second day. But
Wow,
yeah,
72 and a 70.
Yeah, I think I chipped in like 3 times.
Really?
Because but the greens were so hard. Yeah, they were just
Like hard or
like,
difficult hard?
difficult.
Difficult.
Yeah. It's
Gotcha.
like you had to, if you landed your ball on the green,
Mhm.
it would be off the back.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, it was a lot different than.
Is it a new course? Like, is
No.
it just no? But they just haven't
Yeah,
softened up at
it's
all, or
just-
they
yeah.
just keep it.
I
keep
think
it-
it's because it's been cold. It
Uh-huh.
was still cold when we were up there. It was
Wow.
it was still like 40 degrees in the morning.
Now you have gone to a lot of places and played golf.
Yep.
Here on Mother
Mhm.
Earth, right?
Yeah.
What is your favorite course that you've ever played on Mother Earth?
I think Black Rock, and it's in Coeur d'Alene.
Oh, I thought you would say
Idaho.
Black
No.
Rock over here at Sunbrook. I'm like,
Yes.
you really do like that course. No.
No, it's in Coeur d'Alene, and
Okay.
yeah, we go up there once a year, and
Is that
Yeah.
the one that has like an island that you go out?
it's the there's another one.
Oh, there is?
It's not the island one,
Okay.
but yeah, it's still really pretty. So
How many courses are up in Coeur d'Alene?
I-
Is that like a
Is there a
golf
bunch?
haven up there?
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm going to notch that away and file that away in my Rolodex in my head and
Yeah.
So maybe someday you can go play in
do the
Coeur
golf
d'Alene.
do the golf trip up there.
Yeah.
There
Now
you go.
I do an annual golf trip and we
Okay.
just got back. We went to Scottsdale this year. We've been to Sedona, Arizona. We've been to Tahoe, Truckee.
Okay.
We've
yeah.
been to Vegas. We've been to Palm Springs and all over. And we just got back from Scottsdale. We played TPC Stadium
Okay.
where they play the Waste Management
Yep,
Tour.
Yeah.
And I would tell you on number 16,
Yeah.
the par 3
Yep.
that they would have been throwing garbage at me because I pulled it left into the bunker.
Oh no.
So all the crowd, that's all I was imagining as I was watching up to the green. I was like dodging beer bottles and stuff as they were throwing
Yeah.
it up there. But have you ever been down there to play?
No, I haven't. But we go down to Scottsdale. Like when I was little, we'd go down there all the time.
So we played the TPC, we played the stadium and the Champions course.
Okay.
And then the next day we played a course called Weekopaw.
Okay.
Awesome.
There's
Really?
nice stores.
I'll have to go there.
And then we played Greyhawk, which they play the collegiate nationals
Yeah,
there as
I've
well.
heard- yeah, I heard that
so
one.
all 3 courses were so cool. They all have 36 holes,
Okay.
so you can play morning round, lunch, afternoon round. So a Black Rock up in Coeur d'Alene is
Yep.
your favorite course.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Amazing.
That's awesome. What's next on the calendar?
I think I have one at Old Mill.
Oh yeah, up
Yeah.
in
Yeah. It's like
at the
Cottonwood.
Tahoe area,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Truckee up in that
Oh,
Is it up there?
I think it's in like Cottonwood Heights, like over. It's
Oh, just up
there.
north.
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
up
just
there.
up north here. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then I got the women's state am at Jeremy Ranch.
At Jeremy Ranch.
Yep. Yeah.
My goodness. When was that?
I think that's like end of July.
Oh, you're going to go
I'm
up there
going-
and do
yeah.
that. Okay, got
Yep,
you.
but
Oh my gosh.
it'll
Make
be-
sure you update your website because I want to keep tabs on you and what you're doing
Yeah.
because it's not the fact that you're a girl playing such great golf because there's great women
Yeah.
golfers. I'm a big proponent of girls sports and girls golf and all that kind of stuff. But the fact that you're a freshman and you're kicking all these seniors' butts,
Yeah.
my gosh, dude, that is awesome.
Is it pretty fun? Is it pretty fun to go up there as a
Yeah.
freshman and have them kind of, let's be honest, seniors look at freshmen as just like, they're just a freshman.
Yeah.
Then you just go and you beat them and they're just sitting there like, really?
Yeah.
Like, is that kind of fun to
It's
just,
fun.
just be like, hey, I know I'm not that intimidating, but I'm still going to go beat you.
Yeah, it's fun because they're like they just don't expect it.
Have
But
you ever played with Boston Bracken?
I haven't.
Think you could beat him?
Probably not.
I'm just trying to stir the pot.
Yeah.
Get those Crimson Cliffs Mustangs all kind of going at each
But
other.
you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
That'd be awesome. That's so much
You
fun.
could have a
Yeah.
good day.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
You never know.
Mm.
So what's the best score you've ever shot?
68.
68.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
At Bonneville, actually.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've never
It's
golfed that
crazy.
one.
Me neither.
I really like it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
So how often do you get out there on a golf course? What's kind of your golfing schedule?
Every day except Sunday.
Except
So-
Sunday.
Every day except Sunday.
Oh.
Do
Now-
you switch up the courses? Where do you kind of tend to go the most?
Yeah, so I'll go to Sunbrook a lot to
Mhm.
practice or Sand Hollow, just because that's our home.
You can't hit drivers at
No, you
at
can't.
Sunbrook.
You can't.
Reed will get all over you about that.
Yeah, so sometimes I'll go to Sand Hollow and I'll hit driver. But
Now, when you go to the driving range and you're going there to practice,
Mhm.
what's the Kate Walker routine?
you gotta stretch.
Okay.
And then I hit my wedges, and then I go through every iron,
Okay.
and usually it's about 10.
About 10
between
shots for
10 to-
each
yeah,
iron.
Yeah, and then I do hybrid and wood, and then I'll do like 5 drives, and then I'll do some irons, and then drives, and then irons.
Do you ever visualize a hole when you're at the driving range? Like hit
Yeah.
driver,
Yeah.
and then, I'd have probably been 160 out on that drive.
Yeah.
So then you hit that iron. Do you ever do that kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
especially during the season,
Mhm.
just because like you're there to, get ready to play,
Yeah.
not just pound balls all
Yeah.
day. So yeah, I'll do that quite a bit.
Did you go out to the Epson Tour, the Copper Rock
Yeah.
Championship? How
Yes,
was
I
that
did.
experience?
It was so fun. Yeah, I went and watched. I think her name. She plays for BYU.
Oh yeah. The Polynesian.
I just lost her name too.
I think it's Lila. Or
Lila.
Yeah,
Lila
yeah,
or
I think
something
that
like
is right.
Yeah, I went and watched her. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did really well too. That
Mhm.
she played really well and
Yeah.
did pretty good there.
Because I bet it's the same thing as like me going and playing
Mhm.
Mary Lou. Because they're all these pros.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's right.
Yeah.
So is that what happened there? Did you have not the what do they call that? Not an exception.
Something like that though. Right?
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Okay.
But yeah.
That is so much fun.
That's
Now-
super fun.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on not just Epson Tour coming here, but now the LPGA Tour is
Yeah.
coming here to Black Desert?
I think that's super exciting. Like I definitely want to go
I mean,
watch that.
you could be following Nelly Corda.
Yeah, like I would love that. That would be so cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That'd
I
be
think
awesome.
it's
Right
great.
here in Ivins, Utah.
I know, right?
Ivins.
I know.
Of
Do you
all
have
places.
now? I know you're only a freshman, but do you have a little bit of that idea in mind of, hey, what's the plan after high school? What are some of those thoughts?
Yeah, I would. I think it'd be so cool to play college golf,
Mm-hmm.
and like I know Utah Tech. They're getting the practice facility at
Yes.
Black Desert.
At Black Desert, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be so cool. And I know BYU has a good one too. But yeah. But I probably my dream is to go to University of Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That would be tremendous.
No,
Yeah.
Florida's big on golf. So
Yep.
Kate, looking at your scores and what
Yeah.
you're doing as a freshman, going as a sophomore,
Mhm.
I think your dreams are reality.
Hopefully.
I mean, really, you are
Yeah.
just keep at it, and you'll get there. No doubt
On the
about
way
it.
for sure.
Yeah, I love it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. We're
Yeah.
excited
Yeah, thanks for having
to
me.
keep tabs on you and see how you continue on. I mean, we still got a good 3 years left of you
Yeah.
golfing
Yes,
here in
exactly.
Southern Utah. So,
Yep.
so we definitely will be catching up with you later
Okay,
for
sounds
sure.
Good.
Yeah.
But thanks again for hopping on
Yeah,
with us,
thanks for having
and
me.
best of luck in your upcoming tournaments, and we'll be cheering you on.
Thanks.
Yep.
Of course.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Kate.
We're going to take a break, and more coming up next here on From the Bleachers. Stick around.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Corns for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
It's great to have Kate Walker here in the studio with us.
Yeah, it was. She did really well, too.
She did.
I don't know if this is her first time behind a microphone and on a radio interview, but she did a fantastic job. So we definitely want to thank her for coming in, and I think we'll have her back here again.
Oh, yeah.
Probably in the next 11 months, because it sounds like, I mean, as a freshman, she takes first at the state tournament.
Yep.
I mean, who's to say that she's not going to do that again? Her sophomore year, her junior year, senior year. But again, she has to put the work in, and it sounds like she does, though. It really does.
I mean, if you're out there swinging the clubs every single day, then yeah, absolutely. Which that's tough. I mean, golf is one of those sports where it has to be a year-round sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I played basketball, right, in high school.
Yep.
And growing up. Now, basketball is one of those where I could take 5-6 months off of basketball and still go and pick it up and be like, and you can kind of shake off the rust pretty quickly with basketball. Now, granted, I don't think people should do that. I think you should still go try to at least shoot some hoops every once in a while. But I'm just saying, like, actually getting out and getting the fundamentals, they come back to easy. Golf is one of those that's a little different.
Yeah.
You have to be on top of your game consistently, because if you're not, you can lose it pretty quickly.
Well, and
you have to practice a ton.
The difference between golf and, say, basketball or even baseball or football is that when you go to a football field or a baseball fields can be a little tiny bit different, or a basketball court, the free throw is always going to be 10 feet. The rim's always going to be 10 foot high. The 3-point line is always going to be the same. You go to a football field, it's always going to be 100 yards. You go to a golf course, and every single course is different.
Every single hole is different.
And yes. So, yeah, you have to just keep grinding away. You have to be able to hit your 60 degree, your 52 degree, whatever clubs that you hit. And then you have to be able to putt. You have to be able to learn to adjust on the fly. Greens are fast, greens are slow.
It's a sport of adaptation.
Yep,
right?
For sure.
The best golfers are the ones that can adapt to their environment.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's easier said than done.
What did one of my quotes, I don't know if a quote, but something I say quite a bit, which I guess is a quote. And I would tell you on the course every now and then. Yeah. I would tell anybody, our good friend Dion as well, don't keep doing the same thing expecting a different result.
Exactly.
You've got to be able to adjust on the court, or on the course.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, it sounds like she's doing good. We'll have her on again for sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Hey,
I guarantee she'll be back around.
There is a baseball team
Okay.
that might have to change their name. Do you want to know why? What do you think their name would be associated with if we're probably talking name change?
Are we talking MLB?
No, it's just a baseball team.
Oh. Well, lately it's been usually something to do
Native Americans,
with race or something.
Yeah, something like that. No. It's they might have to change their name because they're glorifying bacon.
I love bacon.
Now, first off, bacon should be glorified.
Yeah, is PETA getting after him?
Okay. No, but there's a group called, get this, it's an animal rights group, so very similar.
Similar, okay.
It's the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. I have no idea what that's about, but they're mad because they're glorifying bacon. It's the Macon Bacon. Macon, Georgia. Macon, Georgia.
Yeah.
They're the Macon Bacon, and they're getting criticism over their name because they're glorifying bacon. Bacon should be glorified.
It's the greatest, I would dare say it's the greatest source of meat that you could have.
Oh,
it's
my
delicious.
Gosh. What are they going to do? Make Kevin Bacon change his name too?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, it's getting out of hand.
A little bit.
I'm just saying.
Just for having the name bacon.
It's getting out of hand.
Is it because, it's just got to be because they're a food then, based off of animal product.
Well, this is what it says. This says, an animal rights group is asking Georgia's Macon Bacon baseball team to change its name to something less meaty. But the team says, we do not view ourselves as glorification of an unhealthy lifestyle. They're just a baseball team, for hell's sake. They're just the Macon Bacon.
Do they need to change Savannah Bananas? Because if you eat too many bananas, then that's probably unhealthy too. You can't eat too much of one thing. It's not good.
Hayden,
you can say that with so many things.
I just don't get it anymore. They're just a baseball team, and it rhymes with Macon Bacon.
Yeah, you don't think into it too much. That's the problem. Sometimes people just think about things too much, you know?
Oh, my goodness.
And then you got to find a way to be mad about it.
It's true.
And it's so frustrating.
It's true.
Yeah. Somebody could look at our show from the bleachers. How dare they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying people get mad over weird things nowadays.
Oh, for sure.
Man, I don't know. I don't know.
But hey, let's revisit again. Breaking news, not really breaking anymore.
I mean,
It's been
we're 5 hours.
5 hours from
5
it.
hours
But
removed, but
the Jazz making a deal for John Collins and the Atlanta Hawks. Rudy Gay is getting getting a flight out of Salt Lake City, going to fly into Atlanta, and a second-round pick. And, I don't know how much value they put on a second-round pick, but let's be honest. It should be close to zero. Second-rounders, yes, I know that there's second-rounders that have done well for themselves. Like Draymond Green, I believe, was a second-rounder.
he was. Nikola Jokic.
But they're, that's true, too. But they're few and far between.
Yes, it's very rare that you find a second rounder that turns into a great player.
Yeah.
I mean, you find some that are solid role guys.
Yeah.
That's usually what you're going to find, like your Jay Crowders, for example,
Mhm.
right? A lot of Jazz fans will know who he is.
for sure.
You find some guys that are in the second round, and maybe even some undrafted guys that find their way into the league, and they play for a good 15 years. But giving up a second-round pick is pretty harmless.
Yeah.
It really is, especially in basketball. A second-round pick is fairly harmless to get rid of. When you're getting rid of first-round picks, that's when it becomes iffy, right?
That's when there's more value tagged to them, for sure.
If your team's playing really well and you give up a first-round pick, and then you give a first-round pick now, and by the time that pick comes into play, let's say it's for 2025 or something, just throwing out an example. By the time that pick comes into play in 2025, if your team's really good and it's the 27th pick, okay, well, now it doesn't mean as much, right? Those first-round picks can be iffy. Second round, it's like, okay, the best it could be is 31.
For sure.
So it doesn't mean much when they throw in a second-round pick in this trade with Rudy Gay for John Collins. So to me, this is in my opinion, this is a great trade for the Jazz. I think John Collins, like I mentioned before, he's underrated. He was underused, and I think due to that, sometimes the stats drop.
And we talked about this earlier in the show, where we think this is an Atlanta Hawks issue with his decline, not a John Collins issue. But this is a win for the Hawks as well, because they are able to unload quite a bit of money. So they have some cap space that maybe they can go get somebody that maybe fits their system a little bit better than John Collins did.
Yeah.
So I think this is a win-win trade for everybody involved in this.
I think so. And
that's what you want trades to be.
Yeah, the Hawks, they get money,
Yeah.
They're dumping off the contract. The Jazz have tons of cap space, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Relative to the rest of the league, they do have a
question.
lot of cap space. So them taking on this contract isn't really that big of a deal for them. It's exactly what they've been wanting to do, is take on a player that maybe has a beefier contract, but that is, obviously, if you have a good contract, you're probably a good player. They want to fight for the playoffs. They looked at last season and thought, man, we're way better than I thought we were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Markkanen just barely came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And by the way, who's to say that John Collins can't just do the same all of a sudden and just come out of nowhere, right? Because they're not using him correctly. The Jazz use him correctly. You could have Kessler, Collins, and Markkanen in your front court they could be an unstoppable force down low.
They could be.
Because Kessler is just on his way to becoming his own star. I mean, this last year he was top 3 in rookies for voting for Rookie of the Year. But, I mean, he's already become one of the top centers in the league in just a year.
And they're young.
And they're very young.
This could be a front court that could stay together productive together for 5, 6, 7 years.
Yes.
If they stay together.
And if it works
to grow.
well.
If it works well, yes. But they're all young.
They're all
That's
very
the thing,
young.
too.
Think about when these guys are 28, 29, 30 years old. Because they're all in their mid-20s, if not even earlier, in the case of Walker Kessler. In 4 years from now, these guys are going to be at the height of their careers, playing even better basketball than they are now, and they're already playing decent basketball.
Yeah.
And then you look at, okay, well, who are your guards at that point? Agbaji, I think, is going to be really good. He showed a lot of signs last year. He's going to be good. Colin Sexton's had his ups and downs with injuries. I think he's a solid 6-man. I'm happy with that. They might have to start him this year, but we'll see what happens. There's still a lot of offseason left before the season starts. We literally just started the offseason a few weeks ago.
Yep.
I do think that if the Jazz can find that guard, and maybe Keontae George ends up being that guy. Who knows? You just don't know which of these guys are going to hit. again, he's the 16th pick in the draft. He could hit. You never know. We'll see what happens. I just think there's a lot of hope for Jazz fans for this upcoming year. I expect them to be a playoff team, probably around a 6th, 7th seed.
They could be a little higher, I think.
They could be. They could be. Right now, I'm just trying to put them in a realistic zone.
Yeah, sure.
That's where I think they could be.
Love it.
It's crazy. It's fun. So
good job, Danny Ainge.
Yeah, good job, Danny Ainge, indeed. All right. That's it, guys. We're out of here. Have a good one.